interest in U.S. control by establishing a new outpost for U.S. troops, one of nearly 800. He finds the land is already inhabited by its own people, and he is ordered to clear them out in order to make way for U.S. logging, mining, and oil extraction projects. The democratically elected local leaders, environmental activists, the indigenous land defenders, they must all be displaced by Robbie to make way for American industry. But Robbie is unable to complete his mission, burdened with injuries that have left to worsen, numb from the dehumanizing process of being stripped of his critical thinking, and unable to justify the violence he is creating. He succumbs under the crushing weight of the trauma. He is disqualified from service.
Sounds like you won't be needing this anymore!
Robbie's departure disqualifies him from all the benefits he was promised. And with the damage his mind and body have accrued throughout his time abroad, he'll have a much harder time getting a job. Now riddled with PTSD, chemical weapon exposure, disabilities, and toxic relationship patterns, Robbie is left with an overwhelming burden after being discarded by the military. To cope with his injuries, he is constantly in and out of hospitals. And because he was discharged early, Robbie just isn't given the education support or health care coverage he had been counting on. Without educational support, Robbie isn't able to finish his degree. He struggles to find unemployment. He falls under the weight of intense depression and flashbacks, and he is left to the whims of private landlords. Robbie is trapped under crushing medical debts. He struggles to not perpetuate the cycles of abuse picked up by the military, putting a strain on his important relationships at home. Robbie couldn't leave the war behind and couldn't figure out how to be a civilian again. His PTSD and isolation drive him to alcoholism. Spinning in struggle and confusion, he ends up living on the streets of Portland, facing regular abuse and state neglect. The Portland Rose Festival, the perfect place for people to experience Portland and to bring their kids. Kids who don't know the truth about enlisting in the military.
That's right!
In the days leading up to the Rose Festival, Portland police are paid to violently remove all of our houseless poor from the waterfront, throwing away the few possessions they have, including their shelter and food. The military arrives to sweep the area and set up their booths to attract this year's crop of children. It has been a decade since we met Robbie, and now he watches as the very U.S. war machine who once promised him the world closes in on him. But Robbie is not the only one watching. We are all watching!
That's right!
And these issues cannot be swept away!
That's right!
Are we gonna let this happen?
No!
Are we gonna let the U.S. war machine claim another victim?
No!
What is Flea Week for?
Constant lies and endless war!
What is Flea Week for?
Constant lies and endless war!
What is Flea Week for?
Constant lies and endless war!
What is Flea Week for?
Constant lies and endless war!
At this point in the story,